All right. Marker lights, turn signal lights. Properly mounted and secure. Not crack, bend or damage. Free of debris. Proper color, amber. Side mirror brackets, properly mounted and secure. It's not crack, bend or damage. It's not missing any screws. General door, properly mounted and secure. There is no hole or damage on the door. The door handle should be opening and closing the door properly. Door hinge, properly mounted and secured. It's not crack, bend or damage. Door seals, both sides, properly mounted and secured. It's not crack, bend or damage. I'm sorry. There is no bridge, bulge or cut, and it's not fried or split. The door is properly mounted and secured. It's not sagging. Should be open and closed freely. All right. Steps and catwalk, properly mounted and secured. It's not crack, bend or damage. It's free of debris. It's properly mounted to hold the driver weight. All right. Fuel tank, properly mounted and secured. It's not crack, bend or damage. It's not leaking. The cab is present, properly tight. The safety chain is present. Inside the cab, the rubber seal, no abrasion, bulge or cuts. It's not leaking. The cap is properly tight. The strap are properly mounted and secured to both ends. And no crack, bend or damage. The rubber seal underneath the strap, no abrasion, bulge or cuts. There is no metal to metal contact. All right. Frame and cross members, properly mounted and secured. There is no crack, bend or damage, no illegal weld. I'm not missing any components. Underneath here I can see it. Torque bar, properly mounted and secured. It's not crack, bend or damage. It's properly secured to both ends. The bushing is intact. Right here I have drive shaft, properly mounted and secured to both ends. It's not tilted, it's not crack, bend or damage. No illegal weld. The U-joints are well lubricated, properly mounted and secured. They not crack, bend or damage. They are free of debris. Right here I have the exhaust system, properly mounted and secured. It's not crack, bend or damage. There is no sign of any smoke leak. All right. Splash guard and bracket, properly mounted and secured. It's not crack, bend or damage. The splash guard have proper clearance from the ground and from the tire. All right. Right here I have spring mount to both ends, properly mounted and secured. It's not crack, bend or damage. It's not missing any bolt and nuts. Spring leaf, properly mounted and secured. It's not crack, bend or damage. There is no illegal weld. The U-bolts and the spacer, properly mounted and secured. It's not crack, bend or damage. They are properly tight. Shock absorber, properly mounted and secured to both ends. It's not crack, bend or damage. It's not leaking. The bushing is intact. Airbag, properly mounted and secured with upper and lower plate. No crack, bend or damage. They're not missing any bolt and nuts. The airbag itself, properly mounted and secured. No abrasion, bulge or cuts. It's not leaking. Right, I'm going to the brake system. I have brake chamber and C-clamp, properly mounted and secured. It's not crack, bend or damage. They're not leaking in air. Brake line, brake hose and ABS, properly mounted. Brake line and ABS, properly mounted and secured to both ends. There is no abrasion, bulge or cut. There is no leak. Slack adjuster and push rod, properly mounted and secured. It's not crack, bend or damage. There is no leak surrounding. With the brake release, pulling by hand. The push rod should not have a free play more than 1 inch. Brake drum, properly mounted and secured. It's not crack, bend, or damage. It's free of debris. There is no illegal weld. Brake cleaning. Properly mounted and secured. It's not crack, bend, or damage. It's free of debris. It's not dangerously tuned to operate a motor vehicle. Alright? Inside and outside rim. Properly mounted and secured to the tire. It's not crack, bend, or damage. No illegal weld. All the lug nuts are present. There's no crack, bend, or damage. There is no sign of shiny metal or powder rivet. Alright? Valve stem. Properly mounted and secured. It's not crack, bend, or damage. It's not leaking. Axle hub seal. Properly mounted and secured. It's not crack, bend, or damage. All the nuts and lug nuts are present. It's not leaking. Should be fit to the manufacturer specification. Alright. Between the two ribs, there is no gap or daylight. They are attached properly. Between the two tires, there is proper clearance. There is no hanging object or debris. Outside and inside tire wall, properly mounted and secured. There is no abrasion, bulge, or cut. It's not leaking. Upper wall of tire, evenly worn. There is no abrasion, bulge, or cut. It's not leaking. The depth should not be less than 232 of an inch because it is a drive tire. On the front tire, 432 of an inch. Alright. Since I complete my wheel, here you go. Mud flap brackets. Properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or damaged. It's properly attached to the frame. The DOT tape is present. It's not fade, it's reflective, red and white. Mud flap. It's not cracked, bent, or damaged. It's properly mounted. They have proper clearance from the ground. They have proper clearance from the tire. Alright. Back here we have running lights, brake lights, turn signal light, and four-way flasher. Properly mounted and secure. It's not crack, bend, or damage. It's functional. Proper color, red. Reverse lights, properly mounted and secure. It's not crack, bend, or damage. It's functional. Proper color, clear. Alright? Now I'm going to do my coupling. Alright, kingpin and locking jaw, properly mounted and secured. There no crack, bend, or damage. No illegal weld. They are properly greased. The locking jaw is fully surrounding the kingpin in a fully locked position. Apron and skid plate, properly mounted and secured. There no crack, bend, or damage. No illegal weld. Between the apron and skid plate, there is no daylight or gap. There is a proper grease between. Alright? Now we come here. Fifth wheel mount and mounting bolts. Properly mounted and secured. There are no crack, bend, or damage. They are properly attached to the platform with mounting bolts. All mounting bolts are present. They're missing. Alright? The platform itself is not crack, bend, or damage. No illegal weld. It's properly attached to the frame with the mounting bolt. Alright. Right here we have pintle hook. Properly mounted and secured. It's not crack, bend, or damage. It's in a fully locked position. The carpin is present. Alright? Fifth wheel release handle. Properly mounted and secured. It's not crack, bend, or damage. It's in a fully locked position. Underneath the release handle, there is a spring and carpin. They both are present. Alright, this specific fifth wheel is not adjustable. It's manufactured mounted fifth wheel. There is no air system connected.
Just not adjustable, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, emergency and service airline. Properly mounted and secured to both ends. No abrasion, bulge, or cuts. There's no leaking. The glad hand. It's properly mounted and secured. No crack, bend, or damage. It's in a 90-degree fully locked position. It's not leaking. the seal inside the glide hand, no abrasion, bulge or cuts. It's not leaking air. Electrical line connection from tractor to trailer, properly mounted and secured to both ends. No abrasion, bulge or cuts, no exposed wire. The electrical lines are secured to both ends with latch box. All right.